All right. Olivia, can we please have a one-word spooky-themed prompt?
Let's go with ghoul.
Ghoul. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I don't think I believe in ghosts. I think I believe in energy, but probably not ghosts. Does that make sense?
All atheists say.
Yeah. Because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. We all know that, right?
Right. There is no
physics in
creator.
high school.
Yeah, that's right. It's just energy. We're all just energy. Hey, welcome to the Overtalking Podcast with your host, Ken CJ. Say hi, CJ.
Ow!
This is the month where we talk over monster movies. It's Monster Month, baby. Last week we did demons, and this week it is Werewolf Week.
Lycanthropes.
That's right, Lycanthrope Week. Because we're talking about ginger snaps, which, I don't know, is that a spoiler right away? Because it's not very clear what the movie's about from the title, but...
No, it's not. It took me to reading the description to be like, it's the main character's name, Ginger. That makes sense.
Yes. Before we talk about ginger snaps, I have a question for our guest. So do you want to bring her on?
We're once again joined by the wonderful Olivia Coady.
Pew, 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 pew.
Welcome back, Olivia.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to chat all things werewolves.
Now, I am a big Letterboxd fan of yours.
Same.
And that's why I knew you would probably be down for Monster Month, because you do watch at least some horror. Mm-hmm. And I saw your latest thing that you watched on Letterboxd, which was the Scooby Doo Project, and I need you to tell me about it.
So it came up on my TikTok where somebody was like, oh, here's like this great parody. And it looked insane, like on like the 30-second clip that I saw. So I watched it today. It is on YouTube. Plug for everybody to go find it. Literally called the Scooby Doo Project. And it did not disappoint. It was really fantastic. I don't even want to say too much about it because like the style in which they go about putting the cartoon on, if that makes sense, is really interesting. Essentially, well, I'm going to spoil it. Essentially, it's the cartoons with like real footage, if that makes sense. So it just is like them like in post added into like VHS. It's so funny. It's so goofy. There are some great jabs at Scrappy Doo, who everybody loathes. It's really fun. Wait, you love Scrappy Doo?
This came up on one of your previous appearances.
Wait, did it really?
I love Scrappy Doo.
CJ, why?
Puppy Power!
We did Scooby Doo on Zombie Island together, right?
We did. Yes, that was my first time on the pod. This is actually kind of coming back to me, CJ, and I have to go. I don't accept being recorded on this podcast.
That's a common reaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so wait, I don't think you've even said this yet, but I'm assuming Scooby Doo Project is a spoof on the Blair Witch Project, right?
Yes, on the Blair Witch Project. Yeah, okay. So it's I'm not gonna lie, it's nothing about it is scary, but I actually did feel afraid. I think because it's like seeing people who are not supposed to be in that situation was like very unnerving for some reason. So it did like stir a little something in me, I have to say.
Okay. Well, I am definitely going to check it out now. I saw just a still image of it on Letterboxd, and it was just Shaggy facing the corner. And,
they had a lot of fun with it.
I really need to watch it. So,
all right. Well, I'll be awaiting your review.
All right.
At first, when you were talking about Letterboxd, I thought I've been in a huge Jackass wormhole, and right before this, I watched the tribute they did for Ryan Dunn and was crying. So I was like, I hope this doesn't. I hope I don't. I'll get worked up, you guys. I'm not over it.
Dang. I don't think I've heard of that.
Yeah. Are you guys Jackass fans?
For the most part.
In passing. I don't think I've even seen all the movies, honestly. But
no, it was like not a part of my like growing up. And then recently I've just been in a renaissance of it. So I recommend.
I liked the newest one on Netflix.
Yeah.
There's some...
Jackass
I watched that.
Forever.
Yeah. That one's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, supposedly they're doing with Paramount Plus. They're gonna have like a new television show with like all the new people. So
that makes sense.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Do new people. Yeah, I was like, you guys are getting old. This is not gonna end well.
Well, they worked in all those new guys in the movie, right? Like
yeah.
Poopies. And I remember Poopies is the one who got his hand bit off on Shark Week.
Shark Week, insane.
I watched that live. It was the best thing ever.
Oh
good.
my
What?
God. I couldn't believe. Yes. So it was last year's Shark Week. It was their second time doing Shark Week, Jackass Shark Week. And that was actually kind of like my first foray into Jackass. And I was like, how the frick is this on television? It's truly wild, CJ. You have to see it. But I mean, like, he is like permanently always going to be affected by it. Like, it was a bad bite. It wasn't just like a nip or anything. Like, tendons were torn.
The first time I actually saw something happen on Shark Week.
Yes.
Someone actually got real injured because they were being real stupid by trying to jump over sharks, literally, and then he fell into the water, and then the sharks bit him because, duh, and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was insane. So, highly recommend that too.
Yes.
Olivia, does this mean you're not familiar with the sort of Jackass offshoot CKY?
Okay, well, no. So I'm in a deep wormhole, you guys. So I have now joined Reddit groups. I have paid a mysterious Swedish man to get access to like all of like the past recordings. So like all of the CKY stuff, all of like the offshoot stuff. So like their 24-hour takeover at MTV, that is actually downloading on my other computer right now to watch. So I'm really like in deep. It's bad.
Wow.
Who is this Swedish man?
I have no idea. He is called the Jackass Watcher is like his handle. I don't even know that. I'm not even like a Reddit person. I'm on Discord. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm downloading random stuff. It's risky. My information is probably all over the internet now, but yeah. So I have no idea who this man is, but he has $5 of mine via PayPal.
Nice.
Okay. Cool.
There's one that sticks out of my memory. I think it's from CKY, where it's they're outside one of their houses on a ladder about to wash windows. And so they have a bottle of Windex, and they wait until someone is kind of walking by, and they spray the window and then kind of look at the bottle and then spray some in their mouth and go like, this is yummy, and keep spraying some more. And so you get the reactions of the guy walking by. It's clearly like Blue Gatorade or something like that. But I was like, that's a good bit.
That is pretty good. It reminds me of the dad from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Fans of that movie, you guys? Yeah.
Seen it once and don't remember a single thing.
There's a third one that just came out, right?
Yes, in the movie poster. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it looks so insanely CGI'd and like it's so badly photoshopped where it's like their heads don't even match their bodies. I highly recommend looking at it.
Oh boy.
It's cuckoo bananas.
Yep, just pulled it up. That is wow.
Yeah. So I think they all were just AI generated, honestly.
All right. Well, listen, it's October. We got to talk about a horror movie. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to talk about Ginger Snaps and more with Olivia Coady on the Overtalking Podcast.
Out by 16 or dead in the scene, but together forever.
United against life as we know it.
Let's get out of here.
What was it?
Big dog, maybe?
Whoa, that's it?
How do you feel?
Wicked.
And we're back on the Overtalking Podcast with our guest, Olivia Coady, and we're talking about Ginger Snaps. Oh! Olivia, we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock for you to describe for someone who's never heard or seen the movie Ginger Snaps what it's all about.
Ready, go.
All right. So we have two teenage sisters. It's late 90s, early 2000s. I think that's when the movie came out. But they are two sisters in high school who are obsessed with like death and gore, and they hate their small town. There seems to be like this thing going on in the town where dogs are randomly dying. They go to investigate one night and also get back at their bullies. And one of the sisters gets attacked by a werewolf or lycanthrope. And then basically it's about her evolution as a werewolf and high school troubles.
1. Time.
I think that was pretty solid. I don't want to brag, but
that's pretty good. Yeah, it all happens the first night Ginger gets her period. Yes. So the whole movie's like, she's
a metaphor.
It's a metaphor for puberty, basically.
Yeah.
But with an apt title, as we talked about.
Yeah. Very anti-dog, this movie, I feel like.
Oh, my God. That is the number one thing that almost made Meg stop watching with me when we started watching this, because immediately a dog gets killed. She's like, oh, a dog is like, it happened so quick that she couldn't even register it. And so we were already in the movie. But Yeah, and then it happened again and again and again. Literally
very casually.
Yeah.
4 dogs, I think, get killed in this movie.
And the alive dog gets kicked.
Yes.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Do you guys ever on Letterboxd, if you read some of the ratings, I don't know if it's like one person or if it's a group of people, but they'll give it like a vegan rating. Does this sound familiar?
No.
It's on like really random movies. And I do want to say it's like one lady who rates basically if there's like any animal cruelty and if like vegans would be triggered. Definitely keep an eye out. I was looking and I was like, she's got to be on this movie, and she wasn't. So maybe one of us can step in for her. Meg can.
Yeah, for sure. Something funny that happens later in the movie that we're jumping way ahead, but I just want to mention it while we're talking about the dog cruelty. Someone else eventually gets turned by Ginger into a werewolf, and he was about to level up by eating a kid, and it's Halloween, and the kid is wearing a dog costume, of course, because it's got to be dogs all the time. So
Did not
good.
catch that. Yeah, you're right.
I hope that was on purpose because that was really, really funny.
Dang. Yeah. I hate dogs.
Yeah.
I
big time.
also, jumping all over the place, this movie has one of the things I hate if there's any type of like violence. I can handle gore, no problem. People's heads getting chopped off or whatever, fine, great. I think it's funny. I hate, and it gives me the like goosebumps, when someone falls and hits their head on a corner. There's something about that where I'm just like, oh, that could happen to any of us. I hate this.
Yeah.
An instant knockout.
Yeah. It's just like immediate like goosebumps. It makes me cringe. Like that's, barely any violence. That was the part that was like, oh, not a fan.
Yeah, it's tough to watch. So before we get too deep into this, Olivia, I know we gave you kind of, a set of guidelines to go off of for choosing a movie this time, but why did you choose Ginger Snap as one of the movies?
Yeah, I feel like for this one, I just like the whole kind of like vibe of it. I like the time period it's set in. That makes it sound like it was like recorded forever ago. So it just is kind of like vibey. I think it is just pretty Halloween. I'm not going to lie and say it's my favorite movie of all time, but monsters and the vibe, I think would be my biggest two things.
It is vibey, yes, for sure. And CJ, I assume this is not your first time watching it. So when did you first watch this movie? No, I'm kidding. Olivia, when did you first watch this movie?
Honestly, I think it was only last year. I was
really
it always been like on my watch list, and I feel like it just wasn't like accessible like on any streaming stuff for the time being. And then one day I like saw it pop up on like Amazon, and I was like, oh, I can like finally watch this. Once again, because of the title, really had no idea what it was about. So it's kind of an interesting like unfurling of events. But yeah, it's different. And listen, I think if there's one thing we need to talk about more, it's about the female experience in puberty, So I really wanted to bring that to our attention today.
Sure, yeah. We can dive deep on that if you want.
Yeah, Ken and I have a lot to say.
Yes.
I figured as much. I was like, if there's ever any two people I'd love to talk about this with, it's these two fellas right here.
We got opinions. Look, no.
Also, good news for people out there that want to watch this. It is now on everything. There's not a streaming service that doesn't have it. It's on Tubi.
It's part of Freevee and everything. Like you have to watch with commercials, unfortunately. But
yeah,
it's out there. You can find it.
And you can find that Ginger really does snap.
She snaps. She snaps hard.
Spoilers.
What were you going to say, Steve?
I'm going to chalk it up to the fact that I had to watch commercials with it, but it really dragged for me towards it was feeling long, but maybe that was the like 2-minute ad breaks I had to watch occasionally.
I think that's very fair. Something I thought it reminded me of actually was like an after school special is like the vibe of it essentially is kind of how it reads. So I feel with the added commercials in, I'd be like, this is kind of hell on earth.
Too long.
Yeah.
I've seen this many times. This watch through, yeah, of course. This watch through did feel long to me. It felt like it could have been tightened up a little bit in the editing.
Yeah.
Also, there's not a lot of, but there's at least one like loose end. We're jumping around a lot, but there's two main girls. I don't think let's start there. There's two main girls, Ginger and her sister, whose name is Bridget. And they're very, very close, and they're very late to puberty, and Ginger gets her period and gets bitten by a werewolf in the same night. And Bridget is still kind of lagging behind and is just watching her sister go through changes in different ways, hooking up with boys. And this escalates as she begins to transform more and more into a werewolf. Towards the end of the movie, the mom kind of finds out what's going on to an extent that at least one of the girls has killed someone, and takes them to this party where Ginger's at so that Bridget can take her home and try to cure her somehow. And the mom goes into the party and just, that's it. Never comes out. They set it up like she's going in to find them, and that we never see the mom again for the end of the movie. It's very strange.
Also, the mom's reaction, she proposes that they turn the gas on, light a match, burn the house down, and just ditch the dad. That's her solution to all of this.
Yes, that is female rage at its finest. She's over her marriage. She's over her suburban life. And if anything, it's really empowering.
To literally burn it all down.
Yes. I'll run away with my freak daughters.
Some of my favorite moments are with the mom in this movie. I know she's trying to like parents, but not really. And she, at one point, Ginger snaps and goes down to their bedroom, unfinished basement thing, which is weird. But
they're creepy.
Bridget's talking to her mom, and her mom's like, "Should I go talk to her?" And Bridget's like, she thinks it's cool that you let us figure stuff out on our own.
Yeah.
And the
Plays
mom's
her so well.
Yeah, she literally goes, she's like, "I'm so glad that approach is working."
Yeah.
Speaking of their bedroom, that is insane. I will say, I love some good teenage angst, but I think when it comes to it being such a drastic approach where you're growing up in like this nice suburban neighborhood and then you're like, I'm going to make myself suffer. It so makes me want to punch that teenager in the face, if that makes sense. Like, I'm just like, enough
they're
is enough.
so moody.
They're so
to the
moody.
extreme, right? Like, they're into faking, like, suicide deaths.
Well, I don't even, they're faking it, but then they also have a suicide pact between themselves as well.
Right.
Like, it's, I think I hope this isn't like a trivia question later, but there is like supposedly a prequel there's a sequel, but then also a prequel. And I was kind of intrigued by that one. So I'm like, how the frick did you frickers get like this? You know?
I'll tell you after we do cover it in trivia.
Okay.
It's weird. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen either of them, but
okay.
It's interesting.
Intrigued.
The thing that got me the most about the basement, because you're a kid, the basement's the coolest part of the house, I think. If you have a basement,
I agree. Basement
that's where you
attic.
want to hang out.
Right.
Yeah. The thing that got me was above their bed is like a built into the wall light, like what are the long tube lights called? The fluorescent ones? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the part I was just like, that's like built into the concrete wall. You guys did not like. So you decided that when you built that, like, oh yeah, we're gonna put a light there for beds.
Their whole thing looks like a prison. Like their shitty frame metal beds, like everything about it looks prison like.
Yeah. I just can't picture a teenage kid being like, no, I want a shittier bed. give me a bad bed frame that you found at a garage sale.
Yeah,
but I get the basement
it's
part.
Unhinged.
Also, just to go back really quick, the movie is an hour and 48 minutes long.
Mm-hmm. I was really sad, actually, when I looked that up today, because I watched it before this. And I was like, I don't know. Mentally, I can't handle movies anymore that are over 90 minutes long.
It's a smidge too long, for sure.
Yeah, too long.
Yeah.
There's a lot of build-up before one of them gets turned, I feel like. A lot of, like, backstory.
I don't know. I disagree a little bit on that. I don't think there was too much time before she gets turned. I mean, what is the backstory other than they're bullied and
dogs
they
keep
do
dying.
the death stuff just to set up a thing later in the movie? And dogs getting killed over and over.
I think okay, wait. So you said that they're bullied, and they are bullied. But I also, actually, maybe I should have said this is canceled. But I think they themselves, in turn, are also bullies. Yes, like they are bullies in their own weird way.
No, honestly, that's true. Yeah.
Like they're not pleasant, nice people. Like they're absolute assholes. Which once again, I appreciate that. But like they suck. Like plain and simple.
No, I think that's fair. I wouldn't want to be friends with them.
No.
I don't think anyone's getting canceled because of that opinion.
Okay, you?
Yeah, she's literally talking literal shit behind this girl's back, and then that girl checks her during lacrosse. So that's
field hockey, Ken.
Validated. Oh, whatever. I don't know. What's the difference?
Okay,
was
well, you're
field
canceled.
hockey? They had a weird little stick thing. Isn't that
correct?
Lacrosse? What's the cross?
Nope. Lacrosse has the net. It's like a little glove on a stick, and you wear.
Listen, guys,
it's way more intense. You wear cage masks
did not
and
play
everything.
Sports.
What?
I didn't go to a rich high school that had those options.
Yeah.
We did not have field hockey at our high school.
We did have lacrosse, though, didn't we?
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Again, I was in band.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. What do y'all think of the effects in this movie? I mean, dog deaths aside, the werewolf stuff.
I was kind of impressed for what I assume is a lower budget movie. The practical effects were actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can completely appreciate when they do like all real like makeup effects and whatnot. Like I think that's so cool. I will take umbrage with the tail. I needed zero tail. It is a nubbin the first time we see it. And then there's one part where it's longer and Ginger is trying to saw it off in the bathroom and like, it's too fleshy. Yeah. I understand why, but that was so unnerving to me.
The nubbin got me. That was I was like, no.
Because it took a second to like realize what she was really like looking for, like, and I think I had looked away and I kind of was like, oh, this is like where we're at in the movie, and then I saw that and I was like, wait, what body part am I looking at?
No.
I love when she's taping it to her leg later on. It's so good.
The fact that they make it do it like a tiny wiggle, it's like 1 inch long and like a little bit. It's like, ugh. That's the part that got me. They showed it fine, but the fact that they like make it wiggle in her sleep.
They gotta.
Wait, now I'm trying to think of like what the logistics of that were. And I'm like wondering if they literally just had like a flesh sheet down and then that was somebody's like finger, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Like how do you film that?
I was thinking that too. Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody's little fingy.
Good stuff.
And then the werewolf at the end I thought looked okay. I mean, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But
no, I liked that part. Yeah. I thought her like almost converted like face makeup was like okay, but I thought the werewolf at the end was good.
Yeah, like I said, after school special, but that is what it is.
Mm-hmm. How did you? Okay, I realized that I just like don't look up horror movies at all. Right, that's just a blind spot. I'm not going to go out of my way to find them or anything. But as far as I could tell, there's not a lot of like famous people or like. How did you guys even hear of this?
Oh well, Ken probably has like a legitimate answer. For me, I just feel like it's always been one of those like I don't want to say cult movies, but I feel like it just has always been in like, oh, you got to check this one out because it's a little bit different. But yeah, I wouldn't say it. And once again, Ken can probably speak to this more. I don't think it has like a cult following, but I still feel like it's in that realm subtly, if that makes sense.
No, that's absolutely right. Yeah, it has a cult following. It's one of the better known indie films of the time for horror. I don't remember exactly when I watched it for the first time. I think it was in college when I was like going to like the video store and asking for recommendations.
Okay.
So, or like Netflix, like early Netflix, that kind of time where I was trying out new horror movies that were off the beaten path. But yeah, this has definitely become a cult following movie. It's
interesting.
It's a bigger movie nowadays. I think more people know about it, but people will now because of this podcast. If they don't, so.
It'll be all over. Also, I hate to go back to this because I keep feeling like we've hit it over the head. But once again, hearing you have to verbatim say Ginger Snaps out loud was so. It's very like Good Will Hunting to me, and maybe I've complained about that movie title on here before, but the fact that his name is Will Hunting and it just is an adjective and then like Good Will Hunting. Like silly Will Hunting, and then for this just to be Ginger Snaps, which is like a play off the cookie, but like it's so bonkers crazy to me.
That's what I didn't get. I was like, why is it named after a cookie? Before I knew anything about the movie, like what does that have to do with like horror or anything? But then even the explanation is like, oh, her name is Ginger. Is like, But the cookie, why? Like, I get it has more than one meaning, but yeah, I just couldn't get off that. I was like, why? It's just making me think of the cookie over and over.
And I'm excited for us to talk a little bit after trivia again. But then the prequel and the sequel are both like Ginger Snaps, like the prequel, or like Ginger Snaps, like 2. And she's so dead in this movie. I mean, I'm assuming she's dead in the other ones as well. Well, at least the sequel, we think. So I don't know.
Listen, let's get into the trivia so that we can talk about this a bit more. Because it's time for. Hey, did you know that? It doesn't matter.
So loud in my headphones.
This is the part of the show where we pit our guests and CJ head-to-head to see who knows the most about what we watched. Olivia, CJ, are you two ready?
Yeah, buddy.
Ow! Oh, all right. First question. How long did it take to apply Catherine Isabel's monster makeup?
Like when she's fully the werewolf, or at the party? In what stage, I guess, of the movie? I feel like she evolves.
Yeah. I saw 2 different answers on IMDb trivia for this, so I'm in a range, and if you're in the range, you get the point. So
This is also, okay, it came out in 2000, so, filming probably in 99 or something. 6 hours.
Okay.
That was going to be my guess. I'm going to go 4.5 hours.
You're both in the range.
Oh,
Good
no.
job.
Yay!
I saw anywhere from 3 to 7 hours, probably 7 when it's closer to the end of the transformation.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
Wait, that's like a full day of work just to get into makeup. That's
a long time. Yeah.
Does she fall into like child labor laws and having to work overtime?
Well, that leads me to my next question. What's the age difference between Catherine Isabel and Emily Perkins?
Yeah, in the movie they say what? Only a year difference or something like that?
That's right.
It's probably more like, I don't know, like 3 years.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I just happened to know this one from the movie. I think it's like 4 years, and the younger sister is actually the eldest sister, which is so bonkers. Yeah.
That's correct. Yes.
Dang.
Yeah, it's weird. I would not have expected that, but yeah, they're age swapped.
By 4 years, too.
By 4 years. Yeah.
Decent gap.
Yeah. All right. Getting more into the movie, how many people does Ginger infect throughout this movie? And maybe just think to yourself and don't think out loud so you give the other person any answers. But I'm just looking for a number, and we can talk it out after that.
Oh, I have some logistical questions, but I'll keep them to myself.
I guess to clarify, how many people become infected because of Ginger? So this is like all-inclusive.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think I have an answer, but I'm between 2 numbers. But I'll go with the higher one, which I think is 4 come to mind.
Okay. I said 3. Once again, I have a caveat for logistical questions after we answer.
Okay. 3. CJ gets the point, actually.
Nice.
4 is what I'm looking for. Do you want to talk it out? Wait, I want to hear Olivia's because I want to know what she's missing.
Oh, yeah.
So I said the sister, I don't remember what the name is, but the guy she's making out with, and then the janitor, which they say she infected. And then the other people, because then there's the bully girl. But I thought she just like killed her. And then Bridget's crush. I didn't know if he was infected, but I thought he just was dead. Who am I missing?
Yes, it's Bridget's crush that was
okay. He's like infected.
Apparently, I don't totally remember him turning or starting to turn, but he was bit and was still alive for a while while they were like doing the blood stuff.
Yeah.
And then she kills him. So that's
nicely
the 4.
done.
Is Bridget's crush the drug dealer? Who's her crush?
Yeah, not really crush.
Okay.
That's
Wait,
not
you guys don't think
but...
they're a crush?
I think,
you guys didn't think there was chemistry between those two?
I think
really.
maybe Bridget had a tiny bit, but I didn't think the drug dealer was reciprocating much.
No, he straight out said, "I do not look at you that way," like in a very flat tone.
Oh, is that what that means?
All right. Next question. Okay, here we go. So, how many other movies are in the Ginger Snaps franchise?
2.
2 others for a total of 3.
Well, that's correct.
Oh, okay. It's like, how?
That's correct. Yeah, there's a sequel and a prequel, and they were filmed back to back after the success of this movie internationally because it didn't do very well
Internationally.
initially. So, first question, what is the sequel called? Is it A, Ginger Snaps 2, Breaking Point? B, Ginger Snaps 2, Sweet as Candy? C, Ginger Snaps 2, Unleashed? Or D, Ginger Snaps 2, Still Snapping? So Breaking Point, Sweet as Candy, Unleashed, or Still Snapping?
Breaking Point?
I'm going to say Unleashed.
Unleashed is correct, yes.
That's a surf movie with a breaking point? Is that what that one's called?
Point Break?
Point Break.
Point Break. Yeah.
All right, next question. What is the prequel called? Is it A, Ginger Unsnapped, The Beginning? Is it B, Ginger Snaps Back, The Beginning? Is it C, Ginger Snaps 0, The Beginning? Or D, Ginger Snaps, the prequel?
The second one?
Ginger Snaps Back, the prequel? What'd you say, Olivia?
The last one.
The last one, Ginger Snaps, the prequel?
Yeah, wait, why are you laughing?
That's not correct. You think they named a movie the prequel? You actually said that earlier, and I was like, oh, maybe she won't actually know what it is. And you don't. CJ, you're correct. It is Ginger Snaps Back, The Beginning.
That makes no sense. She can't snap back if she's snapping in the first one, and this is before that.
This is the beginning snap.
So here's how this works.
Okay.
I haven't seen these, but I've read up on them. In the sequel, the sister's dead. And she appears to Bridget as like memories or as like, an embodiment of what she's thinking or whatever, but she's not really there. She's dead. In the prequel, it takes place in the 1800s where they play their own ancestors named the same as in the original movie. And it's basically they're encountering werewolves as basically themselves in the 1800s.
That sucks.
Oh my God.
That one was straight to video.
Oh,
Good.
Understandably. Well, I was going to say, I hate that her name is Bridget. And I don't know if you probably saw this, but like how she spells it is not the way I like to spell it. Like, I feel like it's a very European one where it's like Brigitte, like Brigitte. And that makes more sense coming from the 1800s, I'll say. So that's the only compliment I'll give.
So in the second one, Ginger not alive, but still called Ginger Snaps 2.
Yeah.
Is it the sister that is then turned? And it's
right. Well, she was
her?
infected.
Yeah. Okay.
So
she
turned.
keeps it.
I don't know what the real plot is, but I would assume.
So even though it's established they figure out the cure, she's like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm keeping it."
I think it like only keeps it at bay or something like that. So she has to keep injecting. That's my guess.
But then that would imply the other people that got affected have also turned like the boy that she has sex with. Then he's still a werewolf.
That is true. So maybe I know there's other werewolves in that movie. So maybe he infects it. Again, listen, there's probably 0 people listening who have seen that movie, so I feel confident making up shit.
Yeah. I know it's very difficult to poke holes in this very sound logic that these movies follow, but
yeah. What are we looking at for the score so far?
We are tied.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Then this is going to be the tiebreaker question. What is the Rotten Tomatoes Tomato Meter score in percentage just closest? You can both text me your answers if you would like so that it's fair and no one tries to overshoot the other. Or CJ, you can just text me, and Olivia, you can just say it after he has texted me. Maybe
Yeah, go for it, CJ.
Can I Zoom chat you so I don't have to take out my phone?
Yeah, just to me.
Critic score. Okay, done.
Okay. I'm going to say 52%.
Okay, and CJ, what did you say?
68.
And with that, CJ is closer. So CJ is our winner.
Wow.
Wait, what was the score? First of all, congratulations, CJ, not to overshadow that. But what the hell did they rate this movie?
The critics rated Ginger Snaps 90%.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that international following.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, I
Damn.
kind of get it. Like, it's the whole puberty angle. I don't know. It's kind of unique and clever, and other movies rip it off eventually. Like Jennifer's body is totally a ripoff of this movie.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of good.
No, it definitely. I mean, I do like the movie. I think because it's so not known for it to have such a high rating like that, I think is like, I'm like, damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then the audience score was 78%. So a little more
Wow.
tempered, but still pretty decent.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, let's see if I'm sure we each know what's coming for our own ratings because it's time for ratings. CJ?
You guys won't hear it. I can put it in post.
Ratings. I want you to do that. That's what I'm asking.
Ratings.
It sounds like you're announcing SNL.
Musical guest. The ratings.
Yes. All right, Olivia, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate Ginger Snaps for you?
For me, I think I'd say like 6.25. I'm not all the way to a 6.5. I like it. Once again, I don't think I'll watch it again for some time, but I appreciate it for what it is.
Okay.
Nice.
CJ?
For me, yeah, this, I think like a 6 sounds good. I didn't hate this. Too long. Also could have been the ads, but also hour 48, pretty long for this type of movie, I feel like. So maybe trim off some fat, but I liked the practical effects. It wasn't like boring at any point for the most part. Too many dog deaths though. Don't do that. Don't kick a dog in a movie, please. And don't have people falling and hitting their head on the corner of a counter. I don't like that either. Just a solid 6.
Okay.
Ken.
For me, I like this movie. I've seen it several times. It's in the rotation of. It's one of the movies I've like. When I have a Halloween party, I typically put movies on the screen on mute just to have something on. This is one of the ones I've done before. It's a decent movie. I would recommend it. Too many dog deaths. We didn't even talk about Emily Perkins' wig yet.
Oh God, what was that?
I don't know. Yeah, the whole movie she's wearing a very obvious wig. And apparently, in between casting and when they started shooting, she had shaved her head for unknown reason. So she had to wear a not real great looking wig most of the movie. Kind of distracting.
Ken, this is the...
Yes, it sounds familiar, right? What other movie did that happen in?
It was the blob in the wicker basket. What movie is that?
Oh, the...
With Danny.
Oh my God, yeah, last year.
Yeah, it was a year ago.
Basket Case.
Basket Case, that's right. Where an actress she shaved her head between getting cast and them filming, and so she wears a platinum blonde wig the entire time.
Yeah. Ballsy.
Wow. Okay. Well, 7.
Weird. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Still good. Still recommended. I know that's a little lower than what people might think I would rate it, but it's still good. I would say check it out.
Yeah, no, definitely check it out. I think the score could be higher if one of the dog deaths was Scrappy Doo.
Hey,
agreed. Hard agree.
Puppy power.
No, wrap it
awful.
up.
Olivia, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Do you have anything you want to plug here, or any words of wisdom, or any Halloween tips or tricks for the kiddies?
Ooh, that's a good one. No, nothing to plug. Tips and tricks. No drinking and driving after watching R.I.P. Ryan Dunn. So stay away from behind the wheel while drinking and driving. Bad.
That sounds nice. Don't
drink. Just eat candy.
Just eat candy. Sugar high.
Yeah, that's right. You can drive on candy. That's okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And next week we have... What is next week?
Returning guest Shelby Weaver, but I don't know the movie.
It's The Fog, so it's Ghost Week next week.
Oh, fine.
Yes, John Carpenter's The Fog.
Okay, I'll listen.
Yeah. CJ, you can...
right.
I know you're looking for like classics that you haven't seen before, and this would fit that, I think. So I'm excited to see what you think about that.
I'm down for a John Carpenter one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what do we got to plug here, Siege?
You can follow us on all the things at Overtalking Pod. We're on TikTok now. Hello, Gen Z. Email us.
Sorry, caught me off guard.
Email us at overtalkingpod@gmail.com. Call or text us at USACat1591. Go to our website, overtalkingpod.party. Type in the word Olivia. Find all of our previous episodes, like the Scooby Doo one. A pretty classic one where we shit on the movie the entire time. I think that was like your second appearance. Anastasia.
First, was Anastasia second or first?
Anastasia was second, so
yeah.
really picked a couple winners.
Should have heard that one. Yeah.
Yep. That I think we kept referencing for like a year or two afterwards.
Yeah. Felt a little bad, but also it was not a good movie.
I can take it.
I have kickers, sir.
I totally forgot that. Wow.
Stuck in my brain forever.
Oh no, they're here.
Ah.
They're howling into Overtalking headquarters, part one half of Overtalking headquarters over here. And they're standing. Well, they're slowly starting to crouch over.
Uh-oh.
And now they're on all fours. Okay, I better get this out quick before they fully transform. They're here, of course, to remind you, if you like the show, please go on Apple Podcasts and rate and review. Reviews are what help people find this podcast. Also, we spend the money in advertising. So if you like the show, please tell a friend and spread the word. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, they're gone before all the hair came out. They're gone.
Gross.
And as we always say at the end of every episode,
R.I.P. that kind janitor. He didn't deserve to die.
yes.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
This Werewolf Week episode of the Overtalking Podcast was produced by Ken and CJ, edited by CJ. This week's spooky guest was Olivia Coady. Music by Justin Peters. Logo by Nate Richards. Check out Nate's work on Instagram at Nate Richards Designs.